Alright, hello. Today I'm going to be doing a tier list of all the Love Live Sunshine VTuber models, or at least I think that's what they are. I've been calling them that like the whole entire time that they've been out, but we still don't know if they're VTubers or not. But whatever. I did a full in-depth look at all the designs on my other video, so make sure to watch that if you want to watch me talk about, all the intricate details and things like that. But this video is just going to be me ranking each design and how much I like them, and then I'm also going to be rating my own predictions. Anyways, let's get started. First one, we have Mari. So I actually really like this design. It gives me a very like vampire hunter design or feel, and I think what's making me say that the most is like this corset with like this like black corset and the belts and just like the entire waist in general. I feel like they were going for like a rich girl kind of vibe, but it does kind of look like some kind of like vampire hunter thing. Also like the hat and like the ripped tights and like the belts everywhere. I really do like this design. I have basically no critiques on this design. I think for now, I think we'll put it at high A tier, but we can change that later. The next thing is the jacket version. Now, I think it's pretty good and it fits her character pretty well, but I don't know if the jacket fits with the rest of the outfit. I'm a really big fan of like this shape, um, like clothing, and draping a giant oversized jacket over it kinda is not as good, I feel like. But I think I do like the design a lot, and I think I will put it along with this, the non-jacketed version. Moving on to Ruby's design. So in the video I did, I said quite a lot of good things about this design, but now looking at it longer, it feels not as good as when I first saw it. Firstly, the color scheme, or the color palette. The green with the pink already doesn't really look that great. And then she has this like weird black sock, which doesn't make any sense. And then if you look at the jacketed version, there's like a yellow bow, which is like this light yellow, and the only other light yellow part of the outfit is this single bow on her hair. I also still don't know what this is. I called this an egg tart. It could be a pie. No, well, maybe not actually. So I'm really not sure what this is. And then these belts, these belts kind of look the same across, like the design is very similar across all of the characters' outfits. And I feel like this kind of belt just doesn't like it's like a leather belt. It doesn't fit this like cutesy almost Lolita dress she's got going on. And then I'm also not that big of a fan of the like the this weird hot pink, which is also the only hot pink in the entire design. I do like the jacketed version a lot better because like this also seems kind of I don't know if I'm the only one in thinking this, but whatever this like cut is in the shirt and like these ruffles make it look like an old lady clothing. So I think my perception of this design has depreciated a little bit. But I do like the like multicolored hair. That's pretty cool. And like the hair accessories are all very good. But then like what is this? I don't know what that is either. And also the shoes are a weird like soft mocha brown, which is it's just like they threw a bunch of colors onto each part and not really harmonizing it with anything else in the design, which is just not very easy to look at, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I think the jacket makes it a lot better. It gets rid of that like grandma like cut in the shirt. But yeah, the colors are just not great on this design. I'm gonna have to give this one genuinely a D tier and then this one a C tier. Like I guess I can understand what they were trying to do, but I just don't think that the execution was all that great. Next, we have Yo's design, which was one of my favorites in the video I made when I reacted to these. The colors are all very good, they all harmonize very well, and this like outfit design matches her character a lot. I'm not gonna reiterate too much on what I said originally in my first video, but I guess I'll talk about the colors. We have the orange or like dark yellow and the blue, which gives off a very summer theme. We have a lot of gold accents, which is a common theme along these designs actually. And then we have the white being a consistent base color in the hat, in the shirt, and in the sock. And then we have three different shades of blue, which I was not a big fan of the different shades of blue at first, but since it's three different shades of blue, I think it's fine. If it was only two, then it would have not looked as good. But since the whole entire design has three different shades of blue going across it, and it's like mainly blue focused, I think that is a very nice looking choice. And then also the black or like light gray, that is used as kind of like a middle color where you can see it on the accent of the sock, the shirt, and the tips of the little bow on her hat, and also the tips of this on her jacket. Now, as for which one I like more, I think I do like them equally as much. The giant jacket with the bow is very, very cool. The stripes on the jacket are very athletic and match her character very well. And this like sailor shirt also looks very good. So I want to give this, I think, both of them an A tier. Moving on, we have Yoshiko's design, which I said I liked a lot in my first video, and I do, but I also have my criticisms of it. First of all, the things I liked, which is basically almost everything. I love this dress shirt with the purple pattern and like this like occult type of vibe, but I think it gets weak when you move down to the skirt because you have one vibe up here and then you have a completely other different vibe down here on the skirt, and they're two different separate worlds clashing, which is not the best, I would say. And then the shoes are like these two vibes kind of being mixed together, but it's more on the side of this. And then the things that I really wasn't that big of a fan of was like the skirt in general. It's ripped up, I guess, but it also has like this what is it, a bandana? You see this a lot in like idol costumes, and especially this in like Korean idol costumes, which this may be a giant stretch, but maybe this represents her Seiyu icon, where her solo activity, her like favorite color or her image color is red, and then she's a quarter Korean, so this is like a Korean vibe. But that's a complete stretch, and just because they had intentions of like a cool little thing doesn't really mean that they executed it well. Like, why is the red even here? They, for some reason, changed the color of her eyes to pink, even though they're usually like red, but like a little pinkish hue of red. But her eyes are just straight up pink and purple in this design, which I feel like it would harmonize with the red a lot better if her eyes were actually just her real eye color. I have no idea why they changed the color, and in turn that made the red just super off. And I feel like just ignoring the colors also, this is just not really matching with her top, I would say. It's like, I get it's very idol-esque, and she is an idol, but these aren't idol outfits, I wouldn't assume. Because the other ones don't look like idol outfits, they look like casual, slightly more dripped out outfits. But this makes me think of like an idol outfit, which is just not making much sense. One other thing that I really do like though is all the like the mini belts. I like the belts on her sleeves and the belts on her stomach slash midriff area. I really like how that looked, and it's giving a very like rebellious vibe where the shirt is cut super short and she's wearing a belt under her shirt. It does match her character a lot, and the execution is very well done there. Now, as for the jacket, I do really like how this looks. I just feel like it's lacking a bit of that edginess that her top has, and I feel like it matches more with her skirt, which I guess makes sense. And it has like the cool sky theme, which is very very cool. But I feel like I would have liked to see more edginess on the jacket. That's my only complaint for that. But overall, I really love this design. It's just the skirt kind of looks kind of weird. And I would be actually inclined to put it in low A, high B. I think I like them equally as much because, like, I really love the sleeves and the top that she has on here, but I don't like the skirt. However, on the jacket, it covers the sleeves, but it also covers the skirt. So they're both kind of neutraling out. Genuinely, it was one of my favorite designs, but just the skirt was not doing it the more I looked at it. And I think I will put both of them in B for now at least. Next up we have Hanamaru's design. Now I really like this design, but there's just some things that threw it off for me. This isn't really a negative, but I did want to mention the hat. I think I liked how the hat looked. It's, I think, based off a Tanuki, I would guess. But Hanamaru's not really known for wearing hats. And it kind of looks like a detective hat, and she's not really a detective. I mean, she could be, she reads a lot of books, and that's like a common correlation, I guess. Not a negative, but I just wanted to mention that. One thing that I didn't like, however, was just this dress. First of all, I'm not a fan of like the Greek toga slash caveman kind of thing. I've never seen this on a real piece of clothing, modern piece of clothing that is, and I am really not a fan of it. And then moving down to like the dress part of it, it looks like it could be buttoned up, and it kind of feels like a raincoat, which I said in my last video, but that's not really that great. And then the floral like grandma pattern being placed on here, I'm also not a big fan of that. I think I said I liked it in my initial reaction video, but I don't know. Something about like these three things just doesn't combine very well. Also, like this blue on the inside, I think that that's cool to have a little contrasting color focused on one part. So I think I'm more inclined to say that that's a positive. And then the brown on the bottom, I like that. Her shoes also, I really really like. These are like the same color as Ruby shoes, but they actually like match the color scheme. And they're just like regular sneakers. And then the bag, this is very cool. I actually do like the bag. And the actual like shirt she's wearing, I really like that too. Moving on to like the jacketed version, I think it gives her a more detective feel and it matches with the hat a lot. It's very unique and interesting. The green on the inside is very cool too. It matches with the top of the hat and it makes her feel like, first of all, a detective, and second of all, a farmer, with like the flowers and like the wheat shaped drawstring. So I think I do like it, but it just seems very odd that all the other characters have like some sort of like modern fashion when Hanmaru's dressed as a detective slash a farmer slash a poor person. So first of all, I want to move these up because I think I will put Hanmaru's jacketed design in B tier, and then her non-jacketed design I think in C tier. I really don't like this thing. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. Next up is Chica's design. This is kind of what I envisioned when I predicted Chica's design. This was my closest prediction for my predictions. And I really like the overalls, the playfulness of the buttons, the color scheme, and yeah, basically everything about this is like very, very good. I really have no complaints about the non-jacketed design. I think this is almost a perfect design. However, the jacketed version, I mentioned I was not that big of a fan of because the jacket is denim, and I don't really imagine Chica to have a denim jacket, especially with a silhouette that looks like this, where she's ready to like, I don't know, be in Fortnite. I understand that it matches with her overalls, which are denim, but I feel like they could have gone with something more futuristic, like the one that Yo had, especially in the fact that this design is very top heavy, and a lot of characters like this, where they have a slim figure on the bottom and then a top heavy design, don't really have this old-fashioned type of jacket. But yeah, that's my, like, basically my only critique. I do also love how the inside of the overalls matches the back of her hair. And I guess my only other small critique is that these necklaces don't really fit. I feel like if they had one of the pendant necklaces, either or, and then get rid of everything else, that would have looked a lot better. This looks like she's like some sort of rapper, which, doesn't really make much sense. Um, but I think I genuinely want to put the non-jacketed version in S tier, and I also want to move this up to S tier. And then I'll put the jacketed version in A tier. Next up is Kanan's design, and I had a lot to say about this in my initial reaction video. I spent like over half an hour critiquing it because there is too much going on, and I did not like that at all. So my biggest critique of this design is that she should not be wearing her scuba gear just on here as a casual outfit. It doesn't look good. It doesn't make any sense. It looks really goofy. It doesn't really look good. It looks out of place, and it adds way too much to the this area. My second biggest critique was that just this area in general, there's too much going on. Um, and also like this gold chain, like why is she wearing a gold chain across her body like that? Just I feel like there's no reason for that to exist. If they just removed the scuba gear and the gold chain, this design would be infinitely better. The color combination is very Frutiger Arrow, and it looks amazing. It's just like the actual design elements are not great. This thing, this weird mermaid sock thing, is another thing that I wasn't really too keen on. I think either way, leaving it on or removing it, I would have the same opinions of it, because it's not like I hate it, but I don't love it either. It really is kind of out of place for this. I don't even know what material you would call this, like scale, plastic, kind of sock to be on here. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of this that much. And then her belt being like super long. I get they wanted to counterbalance this on the other side, but having the belt just flow down like this, I feel like isn't the best looking move. The jacketed design looks really, really good. It's just that, again, the same critiques of this scuba gear and the gold chain. If they remove that, this would genuinely be like a close to an S tier design, and it would also match with this thing. I think like my critique of the belt and the weird sock thing would actually just be nullified in the design with the jacket, or they are. I don't know why I'm saying in potential tense. But yeah, my only criticism with the jacketed version is the chain and the scuba gear. Just why would you want to have that on here? I know I didn't talk that much shit in this video, but I did in my last one, and I don't really want to give it an F tier because it's not an F tier design. And I also do like the design. It's just that there's too many things that I didn't like, and I think that I want to put this in D tier. However, the jacketed one I do want to put in A tier. This I really liked. I really liked like the this silhouette of it being sporty, and it's a very like vertical silhouette, you can say. And it's very like pointed like this. It has a very good shape. I really like the jacketed version a lot. It's just that please get rid of your scuba gear. Next up we have Daya's design. Now, let's start off with my critiques, because I didn't really have that many, because I really, really did like this design a lot. My critiques basically are that I don't think that Daya would wear anything like this. This is not a very Daya feeling top. I feel like this Hatsune Miku shaped shirt just isn't Daya whatsoever. I like the sleeves and I like how they go down and stuff. It's just the shirt that is not that great. And then I guess piggybacking off of like my shirt point, the gray just doesn't look that good. I understand it's supposed to be super sleek and super, I guess, ninja mafia spy-esque, but the gray just doesn't complement anything at all. I said in my original video that if Daya's hair was just her actual real like hair color, which is black, not this weird brown color, I feel like this would look a lot better, but it's a weird brown and like the gray is just super desaturated. They could have had like some maybe red, maybe this green, maybe even like a lighter color, like this white right here, and it would have looked a lot better, but this like weird mid-toned gray just doesn't look great, and it looks way too out of place, I would say. The rest of it though I really do like. It's very sleek. I like the this shape you can see of like a basically a backwards C of monotone colors and then it being opened up with this like red on the leg. I really like that a lot. And the jacketed version fixes the gray or covers up the gray, so it is very, very good. I like the gradient of it black to red. That is very cool, and it going down to her sleeves. And I like the kimono, I don't know what you would call this, collar. That is very cool. And also, the gray looks good now. That is just like basically the collar, which complements the belt a lot. That looks good when it's like covered up mostly. I love the color scheme. This is a great color scheme if you were just to ignore this giant gray right here. The gold accents, the green eye colored like small designs, and then the red main color and the black main color, all very, very good, and the colors are very, very fluid. I love the jacketed version. I would put that in an S tier. I think I would put the non-jacketed version in B tier just because it's a little too sleek. There's not like enough going on because the silhouette is very slim. There's nothing like there's nothing really poking out. And then obviously the gray, which leads me to put it in a B. Now I coincidentally saved my favorite for last because this is just literally a perfect design. There's nothing bad I have to say about this at all. My only critique that I had in my original video was that these belts look too tactical. Them being like this jet black in this like tactical looking shape, I feel like it is just a normal belt shape, but it looks tactical if it's just completely black. And I was not a big fan of it at first, but then I looked at it and I really liked how it was just super contrasting of everything else, both in color and in like vibe. And it just being on this side of her waist like this, that is super cool. And just right now, I noticed that it also complements with the shoe color, which is black. So maybe they added the belts just so the shoes didn't feel out of place. But yeah, I love this design so much. I love like this translucent dress thing. I love the shape of the dress. I love the sheet music design pattern on the edge of this pink part of the dress. This pouch is whatever. It's not really anything special, to be honest. I love how she has her dog on here. I love like the elegantness of the top. I love this bow on the side. I love how she only has one like thing being strapped to her neck or down to her like torso. I love the piano thing on the hat. I basically and I love like this Sakura tree branch hair clip. I love the one treble clef um earring. It's just a beautiful design. I genuinely have like no critiques on this design. Um, Moving on to the jacketed version, it's very her. It's not like a futuristic, um, like streetwear type of jacket. It's more of like a reserved. Is reserved the right word? Like a classical jacket. I love how it's like open and it basically doesn't close. It's just like outward angled like that. It's such a good design. She also gains a collar, which I didn't notice, but that having like a bow and a little like thing in the middle, it's just amazing. The one thing that I think is kind of out of place is her Oshi mark as a pin. I feel like this Oshi mark right here on her ribbon, or her bow on her hat, is placed very well, but the other ones kind of seem like they needed to fit it in somewhere, and they just put it there. That's like a tiny, tiny critique that I have. And then design wise, out of the way, the color scheme is absolutely gorgeous. The white being like this, like the elegant base color, and then the main color being the light pink, which matches with her image color in her hair, and then this like muted maroon, which is not as saturated as her hair, but it's still the same hue or shade. It's and it also feels very classical like music. It's just such a perfect design. In fact, I actually created a new rank for both of these because they're just amazing. Now that you know my opinions of the official designs, let's quickly rank my predictions based on just the design alone, not how accurate they were. If you want to see the full pictures of my designs, make sure to watch my reaction video where I compared them to the official designs. But I don't have the full picture pulled up, so this is all you're getting. I'm staying on the Tiermaker website. First of all, the Ruby design. This I went with a Decora Lolita theme and also a candy theme. And I really liked how this design encapsulated her character, and I feel like it encapsulated her character a lot more than the official design. And on the jacketed version, I went with a jersey made thing just because of the silhouette, and I liked how it looked, not because it encapsulated her character at all. But overall, I think I would put that in A tier. I'm probably gonna rate them quite high because they're my designs for my taste in fashion. Just so you know. Next up is the Rico design, and yeah, I told this story, but I did this. This was my very first one that I did, and I did this in the middle of class and then in a hot car. So it ended up not being very good. I wish I changed a lot of things about it. And because of that, I think I would put it in a low C tier. My Hanamaru design, I think there's a lot of aspects I prefer to the official one because I first of all I did like a winter coat for the jacketed version, whereas they did like this hood cape thing. And then I went with a vest instead of this weird caveman thing going on. And I like that a lot more, so I think I want to put that in a B tier. My Kanan one was absolutely horrible. That is a genuinely F tier design. I had no ideas to fit the silhouette, and literally nothing of it was even creative or anything about it. Genuinely a horrible design, even worse than the official one, which isn't that bad. My Dia design is also not too good. I saw the silhouette of the jacketed version and I went with like this cyberpunk streetwear techwear thing, and it doesn't match her character at all. I mean, it kind of actually, now that I think of it, they're both techwear like spy looking things. So I wasn't actually too far off with what they went for. And then on the non-jacketed version, I went with a very, very casual and plain design. I'm gonna put this in C tier because there's really nothing special about it. Even when something was creative, it wasn't really indicative of their character, and instead I made her genuinely cyberpunk. Moving on to my Yo design, this one was also very horrible. I had no ideas for the jacket, and for some reason I didn't think to add sailor designs onto her outfit, and it just genuinely doesn't look good. The only thing I liked about my design is that I managed to fit a pirate hat in the silhouette. That's the only thing that I think that I did like. The rest of it was just bad, and I think it is an F tier. Not as bad as my Kanan one, but both in F tier. Now, my Yoshiko one was my absolute favorite one that I did. I did this gothic OG GRIK gothic, I think I already said that word, more edgy gothic. No, I just said that 2 times. All those things matches her character a lot, and I really, really love what I did with that. And I think my Yoshiko design is genuinely on par with the official Rico one because, at least for my personal taste in fashion, maybe if you're not as big into like the gothic, GIK, OG fashion type of stuff, you probably wouldn't be as a fan of what I did, but I think I really did a good job in representing their character and doing a good design. I know I'm glazing myself, but that's the best one, okay, that I did. Moving on to Mari, I gave her like a rich girl summer kind of design, and I went full in on like the rich white girl thing, whereas they went with like a vampire hunter aesthetic, I guess. And I do really like my design a lot. I think I will put in an S tier because it matches her character and it just looks pretty good. I know I'm giving myself a lot of praise, but you can type a hate comment in the comments, I don't know. And lastly, we have my Chica design, which is very similar to the official one. I just think that my jacketed version is not good because I basically just traced the silhouette without adding anything unique or distinctive, and I think that brings it down to A tier. Basically, most of the things were pretty similar to the real design, so there's not really too much to talk about besides the jacket that I didn't do very well. Anyways, this is my full tier list of the official designs and my own prediction designs. Let me know if you agree, whether you most likely disagree, whether you think I was glazing myself or Rico too much. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to watch my reaction video where I compare my designs and actually do a live reaction. Anyways, thank you for watching.